everyone, and welcome to the Sunday Shitbag Roundup. Because it puts like a weird feedback loop into it, and it doesn't sound right when I do everything. Well, hello! Hi, everyone! We're finally doing it on a Sunday for once. Like, Jesus Christ, asshole. You said you were going to do it on Sundays, and we haven't had one fucking Sunday one yet. That's not true. I did one a couple of weeks ago. But it's just been all over the place. Busy time, end of the school year for all of you guys that have kids, and just the fucking award ceremonies and different shit you've got to do to wrap up everything for the kids, you know, and it's all time-consuming, so I could barely get anything done. But hello, welcome. It's Sunday, June 4th. Welcome to the Shitbag Roundup, and we're catching up with everything here. I'm trying to get back into the steam of it and get everyone caught up. So first, I found the site, and this is run by some of and not surprisingly Trump's crew. Let's see. Exactly. So it's a trove of nearly 10,000 Hunter Biden laptop photos and documents appear on an organized website. Nearly 10,000 photos from Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop were uploaded to a new website, BidenLaptopMedia.com, which is intermittently unavailable since launch due to overwhelming traffic. The site, which took months to complete, is the brainchild of former Trump White House aide Garrett Ziegler, who worked as an aide to economic advisor Peter Navarro. It's taken us a couple of months to, one, go through the photos, about 10,000 of them, and redact the genitalia on the photos, said Ziegler, adding the number one thing we're about is truth and transparency. If the American people want to know what their first family is like, they're going to get it, and we're not going to be taking out photos that paint the Bidens in a good light. So, according to Ziegler, several photos, including private data, were redacted, including those containing Social Security numbers, banking information, and credit card numbers, as well as multiple nude photos of Haley Biden, the widow of Beau Biden. Of the many of the photos found on the laptop, Ziegler provided Fox News Digital with two never-before-seen photos from the laptop. One showed Hunter Biden cozied up to his then lover, Zoe Keston, in 2018. The other image, featuring an array of drugs and condom wrappers sitting on a table, was from a text message conversation Hunter had with Haley Biden, the widow of Beau Biden and former lover of Hunter Biden, the same year. Providing further insight on the type of content viewers can expect on the website, Ziegler said some content that does not carry news value will not be featured. There are, for example, screenshots of Candy Crush games where we're fairly confident in saying there's absolutely no news value to these, he said. Blah, 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 blah. So, all right, so, and then some of the things have been redacted if it was, it couldn't be shown. There's a lot of penis photos. He likes, this moron likes taking pictures of himself. I mean, he's just standing there in front of his, isn't it like he's the same age as us, right? Like, 40s or something like that, like, or 50s, whatever he is. Did anyone have a fascination with just taking all kinds of pictures of, like, yourself or women on your laptop? I mean, if anything, if I've been with someone, an ex-girlfriend, or obviously a girlfriend at the time, or any of you have as well, wouldn't you have taken the naughty photos or done anything else with your cell phone? Who the fuck's doing it? Who's carrying around I have a gigantic camera. Here it is. Stand directly in front of this thing. Oh, I gotta move the fucking top back and forth to get a good view. Who the fuck is doing that? Well, this fucking crackhead is doing it. So here's some of the pictures here that he has had on the laptop. At least some that they've released or could release. So here's Joe with his Dr. Jill Biden, the greatest doctor in the land. She has a doctorate in education, which means she is an absolutely professional, useless person. So if you're choking at an airport lounge or something, or you're having a stroke, she can read you The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. That's how she can help you. She's a professional, useless person. Here's Joe in some stupid, silly shoes, sitting on the grass here with Jill, and the one of the German shepherds that was biting people is hanging out with him there. Here's another one. It looks like they're doing professional photos, and he got some of these, or maybe even took them, because he's got his arm around Jill here, almost like he's going to put her in a chokehold more than anything else. And here's some other ones. They're pretending to be happy, and his arms are around her waist. Let's see what other garbage we've got here. Here's some ones just of Joe, looking very, very sullen and professional here. Very professional family. You can tell by the photos. Here's another one. He's standing by some shades with a tree in the house behind him. His arms are crossed as if he's going to sleep in his casket. It's who crosses their arms that high? Let's see what this picture is here. Allison Noonan Communications. He's got a business card there. Interesting. Let's see. He's at a dinner party here. Some of the girls don't want to be. They're putting their hands up. They don't want to be photographed. He's with a couple. This could be the. It doesn't have who is in the photo. I think it gives the location. It was in New York allegedly. But this could be Haley Biden or I don't know who's who in some of these. So here he is chilling with a couple more women here. That could be the Haley Biden and whoever else. He took a picture of a bridge in a building. Some guy maybe working on the bridge. That's the things you do when you're a bored crackhead. He's laying on the ground taking an upward view of a city here. Again, that says New York. I don't know if that's it was 2017, I think it claims. Let's see. He's at a window taking a picture of a guy standing on the side of the road holding a coffee. This guy's paintings are getting bought for $500,000 a painting. So here's this dummy getting his teeth done, because I'm assuming his teeth are all rotting from doing crack and cocaine. So he's getting the anesthesia, and he's showing the pictures of his disgusting rotted teeth right here that are getting worked on. So he had to put that on his laptop. So there's the disgusting, rotted, fucked up crackhead teeth. And then here's him with his perfect fake white teeth now. We have to get more pictures of the teeth to show the good job that's been done. He's very excited about it. He's going to make a collage of his fucking dental work. Fucking moron. So here's him out and about at some nightclubs, just him doing a selfie. Don't worry, the saucy ones are coming up. Here's him with some douchebag. I don't know who that is. This is either a prostitute or I don't know, some chick that he's hanging out with here. She's throwing up she looks young. She's throwing up the middle finger. She's got the middle finger on her mouth. She's laying in a bed, presumably his bed at a hotel room or something. Now she's got the middle finger in her mouth and she's sucking on it. Is this a prostitute? Is this Haley Biden or whoever? I honestly don't know. Here's a birthday party for somebody. So, and we've got a picture from a bridge here. So don't worry, we're getting there, folks. As you can see, for any of our live viewers from the other pictures, the other thumbnails, he took a picture of the GPS to show where he is, because that's important to have on your picture file. Here's some kid at an event. Oh, she's this. It could be a grandson or a child or something, because he's with Jill Biden in this picture. And they're at some event because he's got access. It looks like a Super Bowl, because he's got a football medallion around his neck. So here is him just taking a crotch shot right here. They've blurred out this part. So normally you request this from the girl. I don't know of many girls that are like, oh, show me this shot. They're just, the women are a little different. They don't need, I don't think they're as demanding of the dick pics as we are of the, of the breast and, lower pic parts from them. I don't think they're, I could be wrong about that. Write in and give me your opinion if it's been your experience and a lot's happening. I'm assuming this is his ass. And I don't know why he's taking a picture of his ass. Unless he's put, I don't know, has he put something between his cheeks? I can't really tell, but they blacked out or purpled out here the crack. I don't know why. We can't release the crack. Release the Kraken. Here's another nude one of him. So you've got him nude here, and then you see his ass in the mirror behind him. You should start an OnlyFans, bud. You're doing great. Here's another pic of him. He's standing in the bathroom, full frontal nudity. And, again, they've sheared out the part there. Realtor from Annapolis, Joe, and he's making the phone call with a phone number here, 401-703-3403. I don't know if that's Daddy Joe or there's actually Joe the realtor, but that's interesting. And a notepad that just has a phone number on it, with nothing else to explain the phone number. So, he could have saved that to remind himself about what all that's about. So he's got his, he's taken a picture of his calendar here, and he's marking stuff, flight to Fort Lauderdale, flight to BWI to Florida, meeting with Dr. Smith, flight to Nassau, flight to Florida to Nassau, and he's taking a picture of his calendar. He's taking a picture of a bathroom floor, perhaps. For no reason. There's nothing there. Okay, we've got more nudity and him looking like he's had a long day, just sitting in the bathroom or maybe on the toilet. I can't really tell, but more nudity from Mr. Biden, Mr. Hunter. So what do we got here? We got some girls in a wedding photo or some sort of photo outdoors. All right, here we go with, again, I don't know if that's Haley Biden or another member of the Biden family, because these photos don't have context on them. Got some text messages to an Amy around at 5:30. Are you okay? I'll do 2:30. I really need to talk. Where is CP Kitchen? And Annapolis Mall. I'm on my way, just traffic is real bad. I should be there by 2:35. Okay, I'm here. Should I order you something? Sure, I'll get the Thai salad with extra chicken, half size, please. Literally be there in 5. I'm sorry. So, meeting with someone named Amy. And he's got the Amy Nah. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but he's got the contact information in there. A text message is going on. He just took a picture of his text message stream, but you can't really see anything in it. He's just seems like he accidentally snapped photos. I don't know if that's been removed. No. Hi, Hottie. Thank you for having us over. Didn't want to bother you to say goodbye. I'm now home alone in my natural state. Ooh la la. That's from Lisa. Road work terrible. Closer to Middleton. Didn't move for 15 minutes. Now it was okay, but only one lane. 15 minutes. Take the turn onto Saffras Road. I get confused as usual. Ended up in Odessa. Just him going back and forth with someone. I mean, I'm assuming some of these are... I mean, did he pick up his laptop and take a picture of this shit? Or is it... Like, why did he take his picture of a phone with another phone? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Or with something else that was capable of taking a picture of the phone. I don't know why it was important to do that. So we've got one woman here, and she is showing a... It's a picture of her on her phone while she's standing there. So she's in the picture while posing in the picture while Hunter Biden is taking a picture of the entire picture. It's stupid. Here she is, kind of in a sleepy state, laying in a bed. So this could be someone he's fooling around with. Here's her in a bra and panties here. I don't know if that's the ex-wife of his brother that he was fooling around with. Okay, let's go to... This is her in a dressing room. He's in the dressing room with her while she's trying on different stuff. This is just like her ass or someone's ass here. That's all you're seeing in bed. In kind of some booty shorts. And let's get on to the interesting stuff so the whole show isn't fucking Hunter Biden's laptop pictures. But here's him flossing his teeth, because that's important to know. Here's another whore he's hanging out with, whoever this chick is. More selfies of him in a hoodie, because selfies of yourself are super important. Here we go, to the ladies. So here's one of his prostitutes, I assume, completely naked with her hands on her head, posing in front of the bed, and Hunter's stupid forehead is in the top part, partially ruining the photo. Now he or she is on. I think he's on the bed, and she is bent over, and they've blanked out her ass there. Let's see, another one where she's on top of him. It looks like it's a little blurry. I don't know if they're actually doing it or she's on his ass, because he seems like he's facing up that way and she's around his crotch and his ass. So she's laying on his nasty ass. I don't know. What you get whatever you pay for, I guess. She's laying on him again. Another one. What I'm assuming is a prostitute. They're wrapped up here in this picture as well. He's taking more pictures. They've blanked out the cock. Let's see what else we've got here. Her or someone in a bra with a little bit of nipple popping out there. Another saucy pic here where the girl's posing in like red lingerie. The tits are out on this part, so they've blanked that out. And there's another one. There's her doing a couple of poses, just, I don't know, showing herself off to him, or they're together and she's just doing shots for him. Her arm is out, so it looks like she's taking the selfie. Now hers full shot, so she's crotchless at this point, and the tits are out as well. They've blanked all of that out. That's a little disappointing. She seems attractive. The thick with them hips. Thick with it. So another shot there, and another shot there of her as well, just posing. Now here's Crackhead doing more, again, selfies. He's all about the selfies. Here he's got a chick bent over, and I don't know if he's doing it or he's just showing the pic, but he's like almost directly behind her, and she's bent over. It looks like they could be videoing, or she's only got like a string thong on, so they could be doing it and either photographing it or video recording it, and it was just a still of it. Another girl showing off a cleavage shot. At least she looks appropriately aged. Here's another one. I don't know if that's the current girlfriend or wife or whatever. More I don't know why. More ass shots. He's on the phone here with someone, because you see a woman, at least her forehead and her hair, in the top of the phone. He's live chatting with her, and he's doing a front shot of himself while his ass is also in the mirror. I don't know what his obsession is with showing off his ass. It's not a good ass. I don't know, at least have like a rock hard ass to show off. If it's just a regular old guy one, I don't know what the fuss is about. Here's him wearing a jockstrap with a scarf around his neck for some reason, with sunglasses on. So, and then some pictures here of... Well, let's see if we're having an issue with recovering the photos. Him just blowing smoke, I'm assuming crack smoke. He's just taking pictures of blowing the smoke around his room. He's got a flashlight and he's got the smoke in the flashlight, so he's entertaining himself with that. Another one of those girls in a bikini kissing him on the beach, it looks like. They're hanging out. I don't know if it's the same one from some of the other pictures. What does he have a picture of? He's got a weird drawing here of, maybe it's supposed to be him, and then him doing some sort of front flip with his ass in the air. And he's drawn it while he's holding on to his ankle. It's very, very weird. Just what he's hoping he could do in a selfie. He's bent over. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Someone's bent over and they've got an apparatus that looks like pointing up into themselves. Maybe a vibrator or something. Or are they blowing crack smoke up their hoo-ha? I don't really know. Here's his driver's license, at least at some point. This expired. Delaware, not for federal identification. That's interesting. This expired in 2018. Robert Hunter Biden. Here's a girl. I think it looks like she's giving him head. I mean, because they've blanked out her tits there, and his hog is out right there. So I mean, it looks like he's getting head, or she's riding or doing something there. So another shot of that, and a whole bunch of shots of crack smoke, just in the light. Apparently, he finds a beauty of the crack smoke in the light. Have you ever danced with the crack smoke in the pale moonlight? So there you go. There's Hunter Biden's laptop photos, and it's I just went to directly where the photos were. If you go to the website BidenLaptopMedia.com, maybe there's more, or maybe not. I clicked the link from the laptop and iPhone backup. Oh, there's more saucy photos here. Well, hold on now. Hello. Here's a girl with big titties. So there's one of his prostitutes. So she's got some nice tits and tattoos going right there. Let's see who he's hanging out with here. He's with some dude. I don't know who that is. They're on a lake. Who's he wrapped up with over here? It looks like another prostitute. She's in like a full see-through bodysuit. Of course, he's nude again. I imagine he is not clothed often. Here's a girl posing in the shower, and you can't, for some reason we can't see her ass crack. I didn't know ass cracks were like taboo. Here's this other chick. She's got a pink wig on, and again she's doing a pose because you see the chest tattoo here. And that's the one that he's fooling around with. Here's him. I don't know, some dummy. He's just his eyes and his nose. So the diary of a crackhead. And here's another chick here, and she's in her natural hair, or maybe a different wig because it's the same tattoo. So some chick prostitute girlfriend that he was hanging out with. Messages and different stuff too. Let's see. Money received. Robert Biden, $600. Robert Biden, $50. Robert Biden, $600. Get the most out of your PayPal. So these are, Robert is, isn't that Joe's brother? Or one of the Biden family. So he's receiving, you sent $600 to Adelison Liette, USAA Federal, from USAA Federal Savings Bank. That's who he banks with. Cash App reminder, Hunter sent you $400 on 12/17/18. Cash App, the $400 payment from Robert Hunter, or is he Robert Hunter? Expired. $400 has been returned to Robert Hunter. Yeah, maybe that is him, because that was what his full name was on the driver's license, right? So these are pictures from other women showing that their phones that they received this money from him. Where the hell's the other one? Your activity, money received, 600. Yeah, Robert Biden. Yeah, if I remember correctly. Where do we go back here? Laptop. So find the picture of his driver's license. Robert Hunter Biden. Okay, so that's his full name, and I think the women were showing on their phones, just because I think, I've read some of his messages in previous shows, and, he'll send money to them or let me know when you've received it, so they're sending a confirmation for whatever. This was off of Zero Hedge, so BidenLaptopMedia.com if you want to see more of the photos, and I think more specifically, maybe unedited photos you might be able to find there. I'm not sure. All right, so that's the shitbag, and then Hunter Biden will be the shitbag of the week for today's show. It's Hunter Biden, because you've got that scumbag of a son. What does that say about you as a father? Just think about that. So moving on here with something I wanted to get to from last week, and it's DeSantis ripping Trump's criticism of Florida. His whole family moved to Florida under my governorship, he said. So, of course, you've probably heard by now that DeSantis and Trump have been going back and forth, mostly Trump. And they've been going back and forth before DeSantis even announced his run. And I said that I didn't like this in a previous show. And I didn't like it because we're all supposed to be on the same team. I understand when it comes to the primary that kind of the gloves are going to be off. Everyone's going to be taking shots at each other, questioning each other's records, the things that they've done, and putting it all out there for the American people. I understand that, and this part of the process. I mean, during the Democratic primaries, Kamala Harris was calling Joe Biden a racist. Do you remember? She was the little girl that just wanted to be able to ride, the black girl that wanted to ride the bus to school, and Joe Biden was the mean senator that was trying to get rid of, the free transport between schools program and stuff like that. Free choice. And she was calling him a racist and a bigot, and now she's his vice president. So it's all bullshit where everyone attacks each other. So in the primary, I expect that. But because Trump was already expecting DeSantis to, Trump, DeSantis made the announcement. I did a show on it where I live streamed the Twitter event. It was a bit of a mess. They really struggled with getting a good start with that, and a lot of people were criticizing them for it. But regardless of how you ended up feeling about it or what they had to say about it, that was his announcement, and he's running. And I haven't agreed with the attacks by Trump on DeSantis. Right now, DeSantis has been pretty smart in how he's handled it by not going full bore back against Trump. He's kept himself conservative and just kept it low key, while Trump is just nonstop. Rob the Sanctimonious. I'm calling him Rob for some reason. Maybe that's his real name. And I don't like it. It's not a good look. And now that we're in the primary, okay, now it's official. You all can go after each other or attack each other's records and stuff. But this happened a lot before everyone made their announcements. And I don't think it's a good tactic on Trump's part. I understand why he's doing it. DeSantis is his strongest opponent right now in the primary. But I disagree about what Trump's doing. I think Trump should stick to his message and what he wants to do if he gets another 4 years in, not attacking, like non-stop attacking the other candidates that are running for office. But here we go. Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis took aim, as he said in the Twitter thing, DeSantis, not DeSantis. I thought that was interesting. Took aim at former President Donald Trump while campaigning in Iowa this week as the battle between the race's two top contenders heats up. DeSantis was asked by a reporter if he was going to start becoming a bit more aggressive with the campaigning against him after largely avoiding direct confrontation with the former president before he declared his candidacy. So look, I'm going to respond to attacks, the Florida governor said. I mean, if you say Cuomo did a better job with COVID than Florida did, first of all, that's not what he used to say. This is like new. Like 6 months ago, he would never have said that, right? He used to say how great Florida was. And this was another mistake by Trump. Trump has been agreeing with the left in order to help him attack Ron DeSantis. So Trump goes on Truth Social, I think, and he says, "Oh, Cuomo did a way better job with COVID in New York than DeSantis did in Florida." And this is just a stupid move. And then, of course, Cuomo commented and says, "Oh, Trump finally gets it right. He says that I did a better job than DeSantis in Florida." It's like, first of all, never give ammunition to the radical left. And second, why you would praise in any way, shape, or form Cuomo, the shitbag who got thousands of elderly killed, locked the whole city down for no reason. It was completely unnecessary. And I know they were trying to go by data at the time, but I mean, the lockdowns were absolutely outrageous. Small business owners were losing their businesses, and they even started that stupid COVID, kind of transportation ID thing where you couldn't even go to a business unless you showed your vaccination confirmation on your phone or your card. Or you couldn't go to a restaurant. You couldn't go into some places. I mean, that's what that radical asshole did. And Trump's praising him that he did a good job over Ron DeSantis so he can attack Ron DeSantis. This is a bad move all around. It's a bad move by Trump. Never praise the left for anything, because the left never does anything good. The only thing they've done is hurt this country and hurt the taxpayers. The stupidest thing you can do is say, "Oh, good job, you left-wing shitbag." Hell, his whole family moved to Florida under my governorship, it continues. Are you kidding me? DeSantis continued. So some of this stuff, I think, is, look, if someone is saying that I'm going to counterpunch, I'm going to fight back on it. I'm going to focus my fire on Biden. I think he should do the same. He gives Biden a free pass. I'm focusing on Biden. That's my focus. So here's a little bit of his
So you
words
talked
here.
about changing your tone a little bit with former President Trump. I don't believe you mentioned him here by name tonight, but does this mean you're going to be a bit more aggressive with campaigning against him?
So look, I'm going to respond to attacks. I mean, if you say Cuomo did a better job with COVID than Florida did, first of all, that's not what he used to say. This is like new. Like 6 months ago, he would have never said that, right? He used to say how great Florida was. Hell, his whole family moved to Florida under my governorship. Are you kidding me? So some of this stuff, I think, is, look, if someone is saying that, I am going to counterpunch, I'm going to fight back on it, I'm going to focus my fire on Biden, and I think he should do the same. He gives Biden a free pass. I'm focusing on Biden, that's my focus.
100% agree with that, 100%. And, you know, in a most recent... I don't know if Trump was doing a rally, and someone brought up that Biden had just recently fallen on the stage. And I don't know if he'd heard about it or he acted like he hadn't known about it. So he was like addressing it as if it was just being brought to his attention right there at that event. And he was just saying, oh, you know, and then Trump kind of played it neutral, which I didn't understand. Like, oh, I wish him well. I hope he wasn't hurt. That would be a shame if he was hurt. And like, why don't you laugh at the guy and tear him apart? I mean, he's been attacking you. He attacks your family. He's the enemy of the United States. Why wouldn't you laugh at this guy and make whatever joke you could? Why would you take it seriously and wish Biden well and hope that he's okay and he didn't hurt himself? I hope he did hurt himself. I fuck Joe Biden. The fuck do we want to wish him well for? I don't wish him well. He's destroying this country and hurting Americans. I don't wish him well for anything. And again, I don't know why Trump played middle of the road with that. It doesn't make any sense. DeSantis later added at the press conference that Trump's criticisms of how Florida managed the COVID pandemic were ridiculous, but it is an indication that the former president would double down on his lockdowns from March of 2020. Trump announced in October 2019 that he was moving out of the state of New York to his resort at Mar-a-Lago because of lower taxes in Florida. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the White House, is the place I have come to love and will stay for hopefully another 5 years as we make America great again. But my family and I will be making Palm Beach, Florida, our permanent residence, Trump wrote on Twitter. I cherish New York at the time. I cherish New York and the people of New York and always will, but unfortunately, despite the fact that I pay millions of dollars in city, state, and local taxes each year, I've been treated very badly by the political leaders of both the city and state. Few have been treated worse. I hated having to make this decision, but in the end it will be the best for all concerned. He added, as president, I will always be there to help New York and the great people of New York. It will always have a special place in my heart. This is what he was saying at the time, October 31st, 2019. So just a little bit of catch up with that as far as the primaries go. Tim Scott just announced, and Nikki Haley is going, and DeSantis, and Trump obviously, and on the the Democratic side, it's RFK, it's Biden, and it's a couple other left wing shitbags that have thrown their names in as well. We'll get into more of that as it goes. Wow, everything takes up so much time, and there's so much that I want to get to. So in going to the Pride Month stuff, 4 more companies go full Bud Light in their attempt to support transgenderism. While major banks downgrade Anheuser-Busch's stock and Bud Light becomes a corporate punchline, a quartet of CEOs seem all too happy to join them as the beer company implodes under the weight of a national boycott. Its cautionary tale seems lost on 4 companies who've decided to follow transgender advocacy straight to financial insolvency. Who are the brands foolish enough to ride Bud Light's tattered coattails? So we've got Target, which I talked about in my previous show that you're all probably aware of. One of the first companies to stick out their necks for the LGBT agenda. Target was woke before woke was a word, so it shouldn't surprise anyone that the chain introduced a controversial line of Love is Love shirts way back in the 2012 was ready to board the transgender train. Back then, retail analyst Brett Beamer warned that the Target strategy isn't very smart, especially in conservative states where it does the biggest business. Anytime a retailer gets away from doing what they should be doing by being involved in a social cause, they lose. Target got a taste of that last year with the mega retailer that helped launch the war on gender 6 years ago with this mixed gender bathrooms, that's what started it, and fitting rooms, decided to fill its racks with things to help young people reject the biological sex God gave them. From chest binders to strap-down breasts to compression underwear to hide bulges for boys, Target is taking direct aim at America's children. Now the soulless company is inviting new outrage with a trans line of clothes and books with colorful messages like trans people will always exist, queer, 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 cure transphobia, not trans people, and ask me about my pronouns. Target is putting itself in the bullseye. There are baby bodysuits, rompers, mugs, and a collection of books that would put most moms on the warpath. My Sister Daisy, which is about a boy learning how to treat his younger brother's gender transition with compassion, is recommended for 5 to 7-year-olds, while the hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. Instead of the wheels on the bus going round, round, the hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. Right into your son's... clocks and even younger, 4 to 8. The activist group Gays Against Groomers didn't hold back its fury. We hope there are enough parents out there that understand how wrong this is and show them that this garbage will not sell. It urges hundreds of thousands of followers. The only thing these people understand is money. Target deserves a Bud Light treatment and will work to put pressure on them. Levi Strauss has joined. Last fall, Jennifer Say, a longtime Levi's executive, wrote a blockbuster book about the radical undercurrent at America's oldest jeans company called Levi's Unbuttoned. The woke mob took my job but gave me my voice. Say's candid behind-the-scenes tell-all made quite a splash, especially her frank assessment of upper management's radical policies. Today's executives reared these kids with an I'm not your dad, I'm your friend parenting philosophy, and they chase their children's approval, she writes. They want to impress their woke kids with their own progressive bona fides. Their latest idea, a gender-neutral clothing line. CEO Chip Bergh announced the idea this month, dismissing any fears about a Bud Light-type backlash against a 170-year-old company. Unisex clothing, he argued, is the wave of the future in a supposedly trans-accepting society. We are building out slowly, he explained to Axios. It started with a small collection of gender-neutral or gender-fluid lines, and there's definitely consumer appetite for that, Bergh claimed, and we're here for that. Of course, this isn't the first time Levi's have rolled the dice on sexual politics. Its first foray into the trans market was 2017 with a collection called Line 8. Since then, it has only leaned harder into the fad, posting a guide to unisex shopping in 2019, like every other company on this list. Its extremism also extends to abortion politics. As C warned, the tentacles of radicalism run deep at Levi's, thanks in part to the younger generation of workers there, whom she calls ideological terrorists, who are policing their peers and elders relentlessly. Company leaders, she insists, are unwilling to stand up to them. Most CEOs lack the moral courage to hold their ground, Say wrote, because they know deep down they aren't do-gooders and they don't want that curtain lifted. Of course, Starbucks, anyone who's ordered a cup from the iconic Green Mermaid has been fueling more than their caffeine fix. They've been financing the movement to transgender our sons and daughters. After a divisive pronoun campaign in 2019 called #What'sYourName, the mega retailer one-upped America's other woke CEOs last year by offering to ship employees' children out of state to change their sex. A statement from the company's Sarah Kelly announced that Starbucks is committed to the most outrageous forms of corporate activism, including paid travel for transgender surgery. Regardless of where you live or what you believe, partners enrolled in Starbucks Healthcare will now be offered reimbursement for eligible travel expenses when accessing abortion or gender-affirming procedures when those services are not available within 100 miles of a partner's home. Now, a year later, Starbucks, whose philanthropic partners include an advocate for child sex changes, is taking his campaign to mutilate children to the world. On May 9th, Starbucks India ignited a global firestorm after releasing an ad openly celebrating gender reassignment surgery. In the commercial, which has more than 1 million views, a mom and dad meet with their son, who now identifies as a girl. At the coffee shop, they all listen as a barista calls out a drink for Arpita, their son's new name, meant to be a sign that his parents who placed the order accept his new female identity. For me, you are still my kid, the father says. Only a letter has been added to your name, he said, reaching out for his son's hand. Underneath the Indian caption reads, your name defines who you are, whether it's Arpit or Arpita. At Starbucks, we love and accept you for who you are because being yourself means everything to us. #it starts with your name. An Australian-based pundit who watched Bud Light's fall from grace couldn't believe Starbucks would be crazy enough to jump on the burning bandwagon. They're going full Bud Light, he warned. If saturating the market with a mediocre U.S. coffee brand wasn't bad enough, Rukshan Fernando tweeted, now they are bringing their woke corporate culture to the subcontinent. Others pointed out that the coffee company's hypocrisy since Starbucks in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar have been around much longer than India, yet you will never see them place such ads there. And no, they won't, because in those areas, they do not tolerate the LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign agenda. That's not allowed in the Arab nations at all. And if they try to put that ad there, those countries will kick them right out of there. So it's all to cater to one group or another. You want to hit the mentally ill people here, then you do your LGBTQ thing. If you want to make sure you stay in business in the UAE or Qatar, you don't show any of this shit ever, not one advertisement. Sports Illustrated has done it. Men who pick up a copy of the 2023 swimsuit edition hoping to see actual women at the beach are in quite a surprise with this year's edition. Instead of a biological woman on the cover, the woke magazine offered for Kim Petras, a busty man who underwent gender transition surgery at 16. I was so excited when I got the call to be in Sports Illustrated. Petras, a German-born singer, told Sports Illustrated. It's very iconic, and a lot of very iconic people have done it before, so it was a big dream come true for me. Asked about the pushback he might get, 30-year-old Petras replied, "It's definitely a scary time to be transgender in America, but there's also much more representation than there's ever been, and there's so many things on the bright side." Back in 2006, the singer was considered the world's youngest transsexual after he appeared on a television show describing his transition, which started with hormones at just 12 years old. For Sports Illustrated, who's no stranger to controversy, this isn't the first time the magazine has pushed the envelope with a transgender model. Lena Bloom landed the cover job in 21. Readers were irate, but the criticism obviously fell on deaf ears. "There's no theme to this year's issue," editor-in-chief M.G. Day explained this time around. "Rather, there is a vision, a sentiment, a hope that women can live in a world where they feel no limitations, but they're not women. Internally or externally, these women share certain common traits," she insisted. "They're constantly evolving." Evolving is one way to put it. Critics lashed out is no space that it's no space that historically been reserved for women. No traditions, jobs, sports, or product sacred anymore. The 2023 Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model is a biological man with fake boobs. Wisconsin activist Scarlett Johansson posted, "I really hope men are #done with Sports Illustrated." Yeah. I hope so too. By the way, if you buy that, you're gay. I'm just putting it out there. Over at Rebel News, Ezra Levant Joe. I just bought it because I like the articles. Yeah, that's what we all said about Playboy, dude. You're buying it for the content that's in there, and you like a guy pretending to be a woman. So what's that say about you? Meanwhile, consumers can't help but wonder who in their right mind would follow Bud Light down this fatal road. A single can with the wrong partner sent Anheuser-Busch into a nationwide tailspin with no relief in sight. As other brands watch the 5-alarm fire destroy the brand's reputation, others are reaching for the same hot stove. Why? Family Research Counsel Joseph Backholm believes it's because progressives are true believers. They don't just say the key to happiness is a world in which truth is personal and everyone gets to be who they want to be. They really believe it, he told the Washington Stand. They believe it so strongly they're even willing to temporarily lose money along the way. And this is right. This is why that message is permeating everywhere. And you think that when they do it again, and you go, what the fuck are these morons thinking? Like your movie tanked, or your new clothing line tanked, and you go, why are they coming out with something new again? And it's because they have to shove this message down your throats. They have to put it out there. And losing the money on the push is just a byproduct. As long as the message can and the ideology can keep getting shoved down your throat so it can continue to be normalized. This is the push, and they've got so much money that they can afford to throw some away. It's not a small mom and pop shop where a month of bad sales could put them out of business forever. These are major corporations that can take the $1 million or $1 billion hit and still keep their heads above water. So it's all about shoving the ideology down everyone's throat. So my point of going through all this, because I've told you about companies that you're probably aware of, but keep boycotting, even if you have to kind of go out of your way a little bit. Keep boycotting and stay strong. Do not do business with any of these companies. Don't buy their product. Don't buy their affiliate company product until they really learn their lesson. When you hit them bad enough in the wallet that there are severe losses that they're having a hard time bouncing back from, that's when all of this is going to stop. And they're just going to go back to selling product. It's real simple. Shut the fuck up and sell the people a product. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me. I just want to go in and buy something, and I don't want one agenda or another shoved directly down my throat. If we're going to make it fair, fair's fair, because listen, I said this in a previous show. I'll go to a store that's pro-America, pro-patriot. You know, I'll absolutely shop there. I won't go to a Target or anything else. But let's say we had to come up with a compromise, and we had to come up with a happy medium. Okay, here's the happy medium. Everyone go neutral. Don't push one political agenda or another. Just sell me the frickin' product. Just set it up there. Let me know why it's going to be helpful in my life or why I would want this thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and decide to buy it or not, same as everybody else. I don't need a political agenda when I go in. If we're going to do the bare minimum of keeping this fair. Of course, that's not going to happen. So continuing on. The Pentagon bans drag shows on U.S. military bases. And this is only because the Republicans went after them and asked to show why federal tax dollars, tax funds, are going towards drag shows on military bases, which is completely unnecessary. Drag events will no longer be allowed at a U.S. military facility or installation under President Joe Biden's Defense Department, a spokesperson confirmed this week. Per DoD Joint Ethics Regulation, certain criteria must be met for persons or organizations acting in non-federal capacity to use DoD facilities and equipment, Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh said in a statement. According to Politico, as Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has said, the DoD will not host drag events at U.S. military installations or facilities. Hosting these types of events in federally funded facilities is not a suitable use of DoD resources. Service members are diverse and are allowed to have personal outlets, Singh added. The decision comes after a group of GOP senators introduced legislation to stop the Pentagon from hosting drag queen performances with taxpayer funds or in taxpayer-funded facilities. Republican Senators Tom Cotton, Steve Daines, Kevin Cramer, Ted Budd, and Marco Rubio introduced the legislation, which is less than 2 pages long, to prohibit the use of Department of Defense funds for adult cabaret performances. If military officials want to know why we're facing a recruiting and retention crisis in our armed forces, they need only look to drag story time. Young Americans join the military to become warriors and defend America, not to become social justice warriors. There is no reason taxpayers should be funding this, Cotton said in a statement emailed to American Military News. During a House Armed Services Committee hearing in April, Representative Matt Gaetz questioned Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General White Rage Miley about multiple drag events held on U.S. military bases, including a drag queen story time for children at Ramstein Air Force Base, Germany, which was eventually canceled following backlash. After Gates listed off several new news headlines highlighting drag events on military bases, Miley said, "I'd like to take a look at those myself and find out what actually is going on there, because that's the first I'm hearing about that kind of stuff. I'd like to take a look at these because I don't agree with those. I think those things shouldn't be happening." Well, do you shitbag? I don't trust Miley as far as I can throw his fat ass. So, all right. So we got some important stuff to get into here, so I want to make sure that we're talking about this. So, this is a new story that came out, and of course I'm on YouTube, so we've got to be careful about this. This is an article from Newsweek, Twitter, YouTube. I'm just reading the information from it. Okay, I'll say that we here, before I read this, we here at the Relief Valve Podcast are not doctors. We encourage you to go see your leftist shitbag doctor to talk to you about the pros and cons of getting the COVID-19 vaccine and your 50 booster shots. So, a new story coming out here. Information about Jamie Foxx's medical condition has been scarce, but some are now alleging that the actor has been left paralyzed and blind due to a COVID vaccine, allegedly. And in early April, it was revealed that the 55-year-old Fox was hospitalized after an unspecified medical complication. In May, his daughter, Corinne Fox, confirmed he was out of the hospital and recuperating, allegedly, but that the status of his health remains unknown. With so much unknown about the Oscar winner's condition and the cause of his illness, many have speculated on the cause of his complication. The claim. Several popular Twitter users have suggested that Fox's recent medical issues were brought about due to complications caused by the COVID-19 vaccine, allegedly. The Hodge twins, a conservative comedy duo with 2 million Twitter followers, repeated the claims that he'd been left paralyzed and blind because of the COVID shot. Their tweet was viewed 2.5 million times, or with around 20,000 likes, retweets, and comments. A Twitter account with 1.7 million followers called Old Cat Turd there also retweeted the Hodge twins' post, writing, "I hope people will finally wake up to the evil demons who forced this BS on everyone." The claims are first made by gossip columnist and podcast host AJ Benza during an appearance on May 30th on the Ask Dr. Drew podcast, hosted by the popular media personality and physician Dr. Drew Pinsky. Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the shot. He did not want the shot, but the movie he was on, he was pressured to get it, Benza told the host of the podcast. The blood clot in the brain caused him at that point to be partially paralyzed and blind. This is his quote. Benza himself admitted to not having first-hand information, but that his source was somebody in the room who told him that Jamie had a blood clot in his brain. Benza also refuted the claims that Corinne Fox made about her father's health in an Instagram statement posted on May 12th. "Sad to see how the media runs wild. My dad has been out of the hospital for weeks recuperating," she wrote in her Instagram story. "In fact, he was playing pickleball yesterday. Thanks for everyone's prayers and support." What the hell is pickleball? And do white people play it? That's my question. Benza accused Corin of lying and said it was all baloney, what they were reporting. He's playing pickleball. He's responding, no, he's not. It's all lies. The facts. Benza made multiple claims. This is the facts according to the shitbags at Newsweek. Benza made multiple claims about Fox's health and the circumstances surrounding his illness, all of which at this point are unsubstantiated. The only information made public about Fox's health is that he was suffering after a medical complication. His family was seen last month reportedly visiting him at a physical rehabilitation center in Chicago, according to TMZ. Neither Corinne nor any other member of Fox's family has given a specific update on his health since her Instagram statement. Fox's Instagram account was updated on May 3rd. Reportedly 3 weeks after he was admitted to the hospital, the actor simply wrote in a post, "Appreciate all the love, feeling blessed." I don't know how he did that paralyzed and blind, unless somebody was putting that on his account. While this has not been confirmed, several media outlets have reported that Fox suffered a stroke on the set of his upcoming movie Back in Action. During their exchange, Dr. Drew clarified that when Benza said Fox had a blood clot in the brain, this was incorrect and that he probably meant he had a stroke, which in this case would be caused by a blood clot blocking the blood vessels to the brain. Multiple medical journalists have said that while this is extremely rare, some COVID-19 vaccinations can cause blood clots in the body. By contrast, Yale Medicine suggests that researchers have seen a strong association between blood clots and COVID-19 infection itself. That's interesting. I wonder if a magic prophet had not come from the heavens and had not said these things quite some time ago. Perhaps even on my show. Perhaps even it was me. But alas, we don't know. Only now, this new information coming out, completely out of the blue. Yale Medicine has reported that AstraZeneca, Oxford, and Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines were associated with a slightly elevated risk of developing blood clots. It's very slight. But COVID-19 mRNA vaccines like Pfizer and BioNTech and Moderna were not known to do the same. I'm not entirely sure that's accurate, but we'll move on. The government's vaccine adverse event reporting system reported that about 18 million people that got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, that there were 60 cases of thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome, a clotting disorder reported, and 9 people died. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is no longer available in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention with the CDC. So if you got the Johnson & Johnson, I have some bad news for you. What the fuck? Hold on here. Hollywood's mandatory on-set vaccination protocols ended on May 12th, according to Variety, meaning it is possible that Fox would have had to get a vaccine in order to continue working in film and TV. It has not been reported whether he did receive a vaccination, let alone what kind of vaccine he may have received. So I'll be very interested to find out if more information comes off about this, and that if it leads to lawsuits by the family against, Fox 21, Fox fucking Century 21, whatever the fuck the movie production is, suing them for forcing him to go through this. So that could be really interesting. All right, if we've got What are we looking at here? All right, I don't know what the fuck this was supposed to be, but we're gonna move on here. All right, you fuck off. You fuck off. All right, here we go. So here's one story that I really wanted to get into, and this was like last week or 2 weeks ago. This was emergency satellite phones have been issued to senators, and is fueling conspiracy claims. This is the shitbags at Newsweek as well. And of course, by conspiracy, they mean something that's probably very likely true. So reports that U.S. lawmakers have been issued satellite phones for emergency communications have been taken out of context to disseminate unsubstantiated false flag claims and conspiracy theories on social media. Safety and security of U.S. government officials and offices have become a focal point for the U.S. public in recent weeks, compounded by the incident involving a U-Haul truck that crashed into security barriers near the White House and the viral AI-generated Pentagon explosion hoax. Excuse me for a second here. Amid the alarming headlines and ongoing concerns about security in D.C. following the January 6, 2021 Capitol insurrection, actually it was just a peaceful protest, reports about the latest safety measure were quickly pounced on by conspiracy theorist accounts to promote baseless narratives, according to the shitbags at Newsweek. Newsweek Misinformation Watch looked at the facts behind the speculation and found little evidence to suggest some kind of sinister conspiracy was afoot. So you found little evidence, which means there was some evidence. So you're just trying to sugarcoat it. Nothing to see here. Just in, 50 U.S. senators have been issued satellite phones for emergency communication, CBS One tweet said, also shared via a screen grab on Reddit. Many are worried a cyber attack prior to the 2024 election will be used to justify changes in voting procedures that will benefit Joe Biden. Today, we learned that U.S. senators are being issued special satellite phones for this exact scenario. Not good, wrote the D.C. Drano account in a post viewed nearly 600,000 times. Breaking. 50 U.S. senators have been issued satellite phones for emergency communication. What are they hiding? Proud Elephant tweeted, gathering 735,000 views. Others rushed to put forward evidence theories about the phones and misleadingly tying it to other recent news stories and resorting to false flag claims. Explosives, 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate, a chemical used in explosives, just vanishes into thin air. I think that was from a train crash. I forget what state it was in. Encrypted satellite phones. Now 50 senators received encrypted satellite phones and an apparent reference to communications, and an apparent reference to a rail car loaded with 30 tons of fertilizer that went missing en route to California in April. They just pulled a Nazi flag from the U-Haul that crashed close to the White House. This will be tied to the missing ammonia nitrate in the satellite phones. We could be looking at the mother of all false flags, another tweet said, directly referencing Monday night's incident involving the U-Haul truck near the White House. Some of the claims also shared on TikTok, Telegram, and Reddit have been picked up and amplified by conservative outlets, including Trending Politics and the Gateway Pundit, as well as numerous conspiracy-focused websites. What we know, or at least what they think they know, the underlying claim of senators being offered new secure communication capabilities is accurate and was originally reported by CBS News on Sunday, May 21st, 2023, though many of the comments failed to reflect some key details from the article. They claim the devices are part of a series of new security measures being offered to senators by the Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, who took over shortly after the assault in the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, the article says. The point was addressed in more detail by Karen Gibson, Sergeant-at-Arms and doorkeeper of the Senate, in her testimony before the Committee on Appropriations following the events of January blah, 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 January 6th garbage. Let's talk to me about... I don't want to hear again about fucking January 6th until you address and go after the people that are in the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots. I don't want to hear about January 6th again. So, there's them bullshitting their way through the satellite phones, okay? So we'll go to TikTok here, and there's some TikTok people talking about some of this, including one that I thought was interesting. Here's one TikToker that's talking about not only... the satellite phones are showing info, not only the satellite phones being issued, but then the Mayo Clinic, a very important hospital that helps people with cancer treatment and rehabilitation, also setting up an emergency communication system as well. Take a look here.
News of U.S. senators being issued satellite phones in preparation for a disruptive event. Now it's rumors that employees of the Mayo Clinic were given this in Arizona. The Safety and Emergency Management Department at the Mayo Clinic in Arizona is looking for volunteer amateur radio operators to assist with communications during emergencies when official external and internal communications are unavailable. Amateur radio is a powerful communication tool and an important part of emergency response efforts. As a Mayo Clinic amateur radio operator, you could participate in incident command briefings and meetings, set up and maintain communication equipment to provide ongoing communication support for hospital and incident command, relay hospital status reports to other regional hospitals, net control for local emergency operations center via amateur radio, communicate reports to the incident command team, and keep accurate records of incoming and outgoing messages. On one of my videos that I made, somebody had mentioned blackjack. Operation Blackjack is the story of a series of terrorist nuclear attacks on major Western cities in the aftermath.
All right, so I don't know about Project Blackjack. I haven't looked into that, but there, so the Mayo Clinic is trying to set up all of this as well. And why would they be prepping for an emergency situation where there's a loss of communication at the same time that within the same time frame that senators are being offered emergency satellite phones in order to be able to maintain communication? All of it's very interesting, and all of it hints at some sort of event coming or that they believe is coming, one of the two. Another thing that keeps getting put out there, here's another TikToker showing it, is warnings about blackouts and concerns about the electrical grid system. Here's some of that.
Well, tonight, the nation's intelligence agencies are warning of cyber threats from Russia and are urging U.S. critical infrastructure defenses to be reinforced. As CBS's Bill Whitaker reported on Sunday night's 60 Minutes, it wouldn't take much to throw the entire country into darkness.
The grid is a sprawling target. There are actually three in the U.S. The Eastern, Western, and Texas has its own. Most of us rarely notice substations. There are 55,000 across the country, each housing transformers, the workhorses of the grid. Inside these massive metal boxes, electricity is converted to higher or lower voltages. Should a transformer explode, like this one in Manhattan during Superstorm Sandy, the system is designed to trigger a localized grid-preserving blackout. But if several sections of the grid go down at the same time, the shutdowns can cascade like dominoes. That's what set off the Great Northeast Blackout in 2003, leaving 45 million Americans without power. A few months before the assault on Metcalf, John Wellinghoff of FERC commissioned a study to see if a physical attack on critical transformers could trigger cascading blackouts.
It was actually a very shocking result to us that there's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Knock out the entire grid?
That's correct.
How many would it take to knock out, putting the entire country in a blackout?
Less than 20.
And Bill Whitaker joins us now. So Bill,
So that's pretty concerning as well. So you've got the satellite phones, you've got the government being issued satellite phones, and then you've got warnings that keep coming out. You might have seen them on your local news, or you're just getting in them on TikTok and other places that are warning of blackouts happening. So all right. So that's just, like, comment, and on the show, subscribe on YouTube and Rumble as well. We're trying to build the base on Rumble. So if I run into any issues on YouTube, I can always live stream on Rumble and get around that. A lot of people end up violating some term of service, getting kicked off there for a week. When I was talking about COVID-19 vaccines and some information that you're not allowed to talk about, I ended up getting a warning and my first strike, and I couldn't post on there for a week. So I haven't had any issues since, because I'm careful about some of these topics, but it happens to a lot of people. Crowder's banned for like 4 or 5 weeks right now, something crazy that he's in the middle of. on YouTube. So he's specifically on Rumble. So everyone is trying to get over there because it's a legitimate free speech platform. So find us over there. Also, the audio portion of the show is iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and like just all the major platforms the show is on, or kind of gets disseminated to other smaller ones as well. So you can happen upon the show and catch it there. So, all right, so we're already an hour into the show. We've got the, we might need to cover some of this at another time. We got Russia and Ukraine are sending drones. You know, the newest part of the battle is drones attacking each other right now. Multiple attacks by Russia hitting Ukraine and Ukraine hitting Moscow. And back and forth with drone attacks or exploding drones or whatever else. So that's, more of the war happening over there. And to kind of stay with our funny portion of the show, to kind of start wrapping up here, is so a Sonic employee is arrested after cocaine ends up in a customer's hot dog. A Sonic employee in New Mexico was arrested after cocaine was found on top of a customer's hot dog. According to police, Celine Gonzalez found a bag of cocaine on a hot dog she had purchased at a Sonic restaurant in Espanola, New Mexico. Police verified that the substance in the bag was cocaine, which they said was found after the woman began to eat. You didn't notice that there was a bag of cocaine on it? Yes, I'd like a hot dog. I'd like extra cocaine on it, please. I have an especially long day today. I had no idea there was an entire bag of cocaine on my hot dog. OMG! What the fuck? No one looks at their food when you buy food anymore. I always look at my food before I start biting into it. While investigating the cocaine, police arrested 54-year-old employee David Salazar on a felony cocaine possession charge. Footage viewed by police showed Salazar frantically searching for something he lost after making Gonzalez's order, police said. Police said Salazar told them he had bought the cocaine in the restaurant's parking lot. That's kind of crazy, a customer told local outlet KOB4 after learning about the incident. I just got an ice cream. I hope we're good. Did you check for cocaine in your ice cream? It could be down in like the bottom part where the cone is. I think that's pretty scary. We come to get food for our families, and if a child found that, it could have been pretty bad or deadly, another customer said. Sonic is not the only fast food restaurant to be making the wrong kind of headlines recently, joining Arby's after a dead body was found in a walk-in freezer in Louisiana. Well, at least the dead body didn't end up on someone's hot dog. The body belonged to 63-year-old Nugent Lay, a manager of Arby's restaurant in New Iberia, Louisiana, and the death is believed to have been an accident, according to police. Yeah, I think it was the owners had failed to fix the freezer door. So he ended up getting trapped in there and then freezing to death. So there's the funny story of the week. Cocaine on your a cocaine hot dog. That'll definitely get you through your workday. All right. I don't even have my other stuff set up that I want set up. Nope. I don't want you. We'll
your milkshake costs way less than before. This membership is.
Go fuck yourself. All right, we got to get through a shit commercial and then we'll be good. Go fuck yourself! Go fuck yourself! Okay. Alright, welcome to the conspiracy theories portion. This is probably a little more of history than it is conspiracy theory. We've got to wrap up here because I got to go to Tractor Supply and I got to look at chicken coops. I thought about buying one online. Just as a complete side note. Yeah, Matt, we turned in for the news. We don't care about your fucking chicken coop. Fair enough, but I'm just saying, if you want a little get-to-know-me portion, I was going to order a chicken coop on Amazon, and the fucking shipping for the coop's $284, right? And then the shipping is going to be another $80 fucking dollars to get it here. It'd probably be cheaper for me to go to the state that it's going for and just drive it back myself. So I'm going to go to Tractor Supply. I'm going to see what they've got and see if like they set them up already, or I can just put the whole thing right in the back of my truck and strap it down and get it home, or a crew will come and set it up for like maybe something more reasonable than what I'm getting from Amazon right now. I don't know, but I'm going to look into what the options are, because just fucking $80 for shipping, it's ridiculous. But So going back to history here to wrap everything up, the order of the assassins. Now, anyone that's a gamer and you play Assassin's Creed, and just the history, there's a lot of actual, at least history as far as the locations are in there. The assassins and the Templars, they pepper in some of just creation for the game. But as far as the creation of the assassins, or what they were known as in Arabic, they were the Ashashin. The original assassins first got their start in Persia and Syria and Turkey, and eventually spread to the rest of the Middle East, taking down political and financial rivals alike before their organization fell in the mid-1200s. In the modern world, the word assassin denotes a mysterious figure in the shadows bent on murder for purely political reasons rather than for love or money. Amazingly enough, that usage hasn't changed too much since the 11th, 12th, and 13th centuries, when the assassins of Persia struck fear and daggers into the heart of the region's political and religious leaders. Origin of the word Hashashin. Nobody knows with certainty where the name Ashashin or assassin came from. The most commonly repeated theory holds that the word comes from the Arabic hashishi, meaning hashish users. Chronicles include Marco Polo claim that the followers of Sabah committed their political murders while under the influence of drugs, hence a derogatory nickname. However, this etymology may well have arisen from the name itself as a creative attempt to explain its origins. In any case, Asan-i Sabah strictly interpreted the Quran's injunction against intoxicants. A more convincing explanation cites the Egyptian Arabic word hashashin, meaning noisy people or troublemakers. Well, I would say killing someone is a little troublemaking, and sometimes noisy. The assassins' library was destroyed when their fortress fell in 1256, so we do not have any original sources on their history from their own perspective. Most documentation of their existence has survived and come from their enemies, or from fanciful second- or third-hand European accounts. However, we know that the assassins were a branch of the Ismaili sect of Shia Islam. The founder of the assassins was a Nizari Ismaili missionary called Hassan-i Sabah, who infiltrated the castle at Alamut with his followers and bloodlessly ousted the resident king of Daylam in 1090. From his mountaintop fortress, Sabah and his faithful followers established a network of strongholds and challenged the ruling Seljuk Turks, Sunni Muslims who controlled Persia at the time. Sabah's group became known as the Hashashin, or assassins in English. In order to get rid of anti-Nizari rulers, clerics, and officials, the assassins would carefully study the languages and cultures of their targets. An operative would then infiltrate the court or inner circle of the intended victim, sometimes serving for years as an advisor or servant. At an opportune moment, the assassin would stab the sultan, vizier, or mullah with a dagger in a surprise attack. Assassins were promised a place in paradise following their martyrdom. Sounds where the origins of suicide bombers come from now, right? Your place in paradise and 50 virgins, which generally took place shortly after the attack. Which is kind of interesting, because if you think about that for a minute, if so you're a suicide bomber and you end up with 50 virgins, right? Which is going to be fun the first couple kind of exhaustive times, right? Because you're banging your way through 50 chicks. And now that you've gotten through the virgin portion, you now have a bunch of 50 broken in women who are just nagging him daily about why he isn't getting any of his chores done. And I'd like to think that that's what it turns into, right? They're there and they're like, oh my God, 50 virgins, I cannot believe it. I'm going to bang my way to forever. And then after he gets through all of them, it's like, have you gotten any of your chores? No, fucking leave me alone. I wish I could blow up again and get 50 new ones. Eventually that's going to wear out, dude. Unless their thing says that they stay virgins forever, which, I don't know, that would be interesting. Assassins were promised a place in paradise following their martyrdom, which generally took place shortly after the attack, so they often did it mercilessly. As a result, officials throughout the Middle East were terrified of these surprise attacks. Many took to wearing armor or chainmail shirts under their clothes just in case. The assassins' victims, for the most part, the assassins' victims were Seljuk Turks or their allies. The first and one of the best known was Nizam al-Mulk, a Persian who served as vizier to the Seljuk court. He was killed in October of 1092 by an assassin disguised as a Sufi mystic, and a Sunni caliph named Mustarshid fell to assassin daggers in 1131 during a succession dispute. In 1213, the Sharif of the holy city of Mecca lost his cousin to an assassin. He was particularly upset about the attack because his cousin closely resembled him. Convinced that he was the real target, he took all Persian and Syrian pilgrims hostage until a rich lady from Alamut paid their ransom. As Shiites, many Persians had long felt mistreated by the Arabic Sunni Muslims who controlled the caliphate for centuries. When the power of the caliphs faltered in the 10th to 11th centuries and Christian crusaders began to attack their outposts in the eastern Mediterranean, the Shia thought their moment had come. However, a new menace rose to the east in the form of a newly converted Turks. Fervent in their beliefs in military power, the Sunni Seljuks took control of a vast region, including Persia. Outnumbered, the Nizari Shia could not defeat them in open battle. From a series of mountaintop fortresses in Persia and Syria, however, they could assassinate Seljuk leaders and strike fear into their allies. So the downfall of the assassins, allegedly, was Mangay Khan's brother Hulagu set out to besiege the assassins in their primary fortress at Alamut, where the sect leader who ordered the attack on Monkey had been killed by his own followers for drunkenness, and his rather useless son now held power. Sounds like what's happening in Ukraine right now. Weren't some of the Russian soldiers killing their leaders for being making bad decisions and getting them killed? One of them they ran over with their tank. The Mongols threw all of their military might against Alamut while also offering clemency if the assassin leader would surrender. On November 19th, 1256, he did so. Hulagu paraded the captured leader in front of all the remaining strongholds, and one by one they capitulated. The Mongols tore down the castles at Alamut and other places so that the assassins could not take refuge and regroup there. The following year, the former assassin leader asked permission to travel to Karakoram, the Mongol capital, in order to offer his submission to Mongki Khan in person. After the arduous journey, he arrived but was denied an audience. Instead, he and his followers were taken out into the surrounding mountains and killed. It was the end of the assassins. And you thought you hated it when you took a long drive to some place and found out that they were closed. Imagine making that long of a trip to not only be denied in, but then to be marched into the mountains and killed. That would be one hell of a trip. That the lesson learned there. Call ahead before you go to you go to your business to make your purchase, which is what I'm going to do with Tractor Supply today and make sure they're open because it is Sunday. All right, everyone. So we've got the more of the stuff with Jerry Epstein. We'll get into this either next Sunday or later on to this week. It's more of the Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy and more of the truth that's coming out about it. All right, hope everyone's enjoying their weekend, and we'll see you soon for another edition of the Shit